welcome to the Fixing Football podcast. I'm your host, Martin Naylor, and this week I'm joined by Luke Foley and Liam O'Meara, and we kick off this week's episode with Luke's thoughts on the Manchester derby and what that could mean for Erik Ten Hag going forward. And we also speak about Lionel Messi's record 8th Balon d'Or win and what that could mean going forward as well. Is the Balon d'Or relevant? Do you like this award? Is it something that you think is good for football? We get into it. Thank you everyone who's been listening so far. Please continue to like and subscribe and share and do all that good stuff. It really means the world to us. We appreciate anyone who's listening. Thank you for everyone who's getting involved on Twitter. You can find us at Fixing Football, and all the rest of our social media links at www.fixingfootballpodcast.com. Thank you once again, and let's get into the episode. Hello there boys, how are we doing?
Alright lads.
Hello there, Martin and Luke. How are you?
All good. Luke, do you want to give us your brief assessment of Man United's amazing weekend?
I don't know about brief, but I'll go into it.
No, I want brief. I want brief because Liam's going to go into it in full detail.
To be honest, I think Ten Hag has lost it. I think it's the first time I'm kind of wanting him to leave. I think there's no coming back now. I think he's lost the dressing room. I think the task is too big for him. We're not progressing. We've regressed. It's a disaster. It's every part of it's a disaster, and it's a shame to say the book kind of lands on him because the performances are just horrendous. Is
it fair to come with that assessment after playing the best team in the world, though? Or do you think it should have been a better showing all round, or is it like a culmination of everything that's gone on so far?
It's everything. If you just look at the performances of this season, we're nowhere near. It's just we have no style of play. There's no tactics involved. It's all individual. It's just it's horrendous. And yesterday was just, for me, the nail in the coffin. It was so bad. Let's start with the kind of team selection first. He's decided to put Johnny Evans and Maguire as centre backs and Lindelof as a left back. What's going on in training for Varane and Reguilon not to start? What's going on there? And then he's come out when he's asked. I think a report's asked him why is this choice? He said it's tactics. What is he thinking?
That's like an Ed's gone moment. That he's trying to defend it that he had some sort of plan.
This was before the game.
Yeah.
So it just makes no sense. So that selection was kind of the first kind of warning sign for the game. Now, the game started and it seemed like the first 10 minutes we might actually do something here. We might nick a goal or something. And then as the game progressed, we could see what the actual tactics was. We were just going to go back to our old ways and do a low block and just counter football and try and nab a goal. Now, I'm happy to do that against City because we're not going to outplay them. But I think once we get the chances, which we did, we need to finish them. We need to be clinical. And I think it's one goal and assist for the front six players, our attacking players all season. It's just not good enough. We need to be clinical, and especially in these games when you want to nip the goal, you have to do that. And we did have the chance. It was just horrendous. So that was kind of the first. Well, should we talk about the penalty? Let's say your two thoughts on that penalty. Do you think it was?
Liam, did you watch it?
I did. I made sure I had all my snacks ready and favourite drink settled down to watch Man United.
I didn't. I was out, but I watched the 3-minute highlight package that Sky Sports put on YouTube, and the only chance I saw Man United have was the McTominay effort. Was that, before we get onto the penalty, did that tell the story of the game?
Oof. That feels harsh. They did start relatively brightly, but I think the one thing I really got from after about half an hour is I don't think United believed they could win. I honestly think that that team did not think that they could beat Man City. And as soon as Man City got any kind of dominance, and it was Bernardo Silva that really sort of made himself available for the ball to try and essentially get City going through the gears and getting into those rotations, it was over. It was over before it was 1-0 because you could see United giving up. And the pressing stopped, the energy stopped, the crowd went flat. All you could hear was City. It felt over before the penalty decision.
I'm going to disagree there. I think because the McTominay's chance and the Højlund chance was after. Well, I think the McTominay chance was definitely after that. We basically shot at the keeper. Again, it goes. I think we was playing like you said, a low block for a counter football. And I think that first half sent it. And I think if he would have done that second half, then maybe it would got a goal or something like that. But I agree with your point for the second half. We completely give up. We had no. I think the players was like, there's no chance of winning this, so we're just gonna give up. And again, it goes back to Ten Hag with his tactics. What was he thinking of putting Bruno Fernandes on the right and taking Højlund off? And it was just. I don't think Bruno Fernandes has ever had a good game on the right hand side. It was just a madness, and the Amrabat kind of taking him off. Was it just because he was a yellow card because he's not injured? Is he not disciplined to kind of see out the rest of the match? It was just Ten Hag. I honestly, I'm lost it. I've lost it with him.
Liam, do you think that's fair then? I mean, you're not a United fan, but you can assess it from the outside. Is it too big for Ten Hag?
I thought that from day one. They plucked a manager from the Dutch league to manage Manchester United.
Yeah, but he was a tactical genius who could do it with Ajax.
I mean, with Ajax, are you allowed to do a different formation? I think it's already set for you. You have to play 4-3-3, don't you? I think that's an absolute thing for the job. It is too big for him. I think he's got a lot of poisonous characters in the dressing room, and
yeah, this is the point I'm getting at. Is it really all his fault? You can, from him picking the squad and then what they do on the pitch, that's on him. But everything else that goes around it and the characters that he's inherited, I mean, he's got a lot of his own players in since. I think he's on like 16 signings or something.
Well, this is what I wanted to bring on when we really talk about sort of Ten Hag and we're really looking. His marquee signing, Anthony, on the bench, doesn't trust him in one of the biggest games of the season. Amrabat, who he wanted, takes off at half-time to bring on Mason Mount, his man, who he's not playing. I'm struggling to understand what's going on with Ten Hag, and I think the players feel the same way. Like, it was the shot of Anthony shaking his head at the subs, watching Garnacho going on before him and things like that, and then he comes on essentially just to. I mean, why? Why did he even bring him on at that point? 89th minute, bringing Anthony on. Like, why do that? Like, it's just weird. Like, are you running the clock down?
It made no sense, did it?
Would you get rid now, Luke?
I think his days are numbered anyway. I think with this Jim Radcliffe, if it comes in, I think he'll want to kind of make a mark, and I think he'll be gone. I think they'll assess it all, and he'll be the first to go. They'll get rid of all the football aspects of it, and they'll bring in their own people. I think I understood what he was trying to do when he first came in, with like getting rid of Ronaldo and kind of putting his mark on the team. But I think it's just not worked. I think the job is there's too many other big factors that's happened, and I think he's just completely lost it. And I think there's no coming back from it now. But what is going to be annoying is, so we've got two, I suppose, big games coming up. We've got the Newcastle one in the Cup, and then we've got Copenhagen in Champions League. And then it's quite an easy run after that. I think we got Luton and quite lower teams.
Don't say that. Luton, they're a very competitive side.
Very serious team, Luton.
I think if he can start getting results again.
Yeah, you think he's going to pick up points and plaster over the cracks again?
Yeah, but again, all season we've not been great. But Sheffield United was scraping through, horrendous performance, and we got the win. It's just I don't understand what he's trying to achieve. I can't figure it out. I've said at the beginning of the season, this season, hopefully, he's got to bring in a style of play out that everyone can recognise, and I still can't see it.
So is that, Liam, is this the new fix for Man United then? The new, more immediate fix?
Probably. I don't see how he comes back from here, really. Even if he wins a couple games, I think there's no progress on the pitch, and he'll lose a couple of tricky home games, and we're right back into this sort of crisis point again. Whether they do it now, possibly, but there's so much structurally wrong with Man United. Like, probably,
Yeah, who are they going to get at this point?
Probably better off waiting until Jim Ratcliffe comes in, and then
let someone front it up a bit.
Yeah, and then maybe sort of rip it out, sort of root and branch, and start over again. But I don't see him coming back from here.
No, I don't either. It's too big. It was too much of a disastrous. And I think if we lose the Champions League and we lose against Newcastle in the Cup, it's game over. I think a lot of fans, you can see it. There's still, some of them are still a bit, we got to get behind the manager, it's the Glazers and all that. But I think if we lose their next two games, basically we're out of both cups. That's it.
Well, that's a fun section one. Liam, give us a brief Bolton update. There was another win.
3 wins in a week.
Easy work, that league.
2 difficult away games that we've won there as well.
Yeah.
Wickham and Charlton. So we're back in striking distance of the top 2. It's funny how things can change so quickly. I was sort of starting to doubt our chances a couple of weeks or so back, but we've got back in our stride, finally sort of, I think, dusted off to the wing game, and we've now won 5 out of the last 6. So, yeah, the promotion train is training down the track.
And then it's the FA Cup soon. It's a big Solihull Moors fixture. I'm sure you're looking forward to that one.
Yeah,
Liam, you've got to win this game. How many years has it been now?
I want Bolton in the 3rd round. I want the chance to get.
It's been a long time since we've been in the 3rd round.
Yeah, in about 7 seasons or something like that.
It is, yeah. We've got quite a deep squad for a League One side, so even our rotated team, which we're likely to play against Solihull Moors, should beat them. They're not the worst side as far as National League goes. I think they're top. They certainly were top 2 last time I checked. I do know someone who is a Solihull Moors fan who's quite excited about the game. They're looking forward to it. So as far as the FA Cup goes, it's good. It's what it's about. It'll be a good game for them. Hopefully for us, we can finally get through to the 3rd round if we can beat Solihull. I'm not taking anything for granted there after Stockport a couple of years ago, but if we can get through that and then get through the next round, fingers crossed we can get a Arsenal United home or away.
Yeah, that'd be class. I'll have a Fixing Football live watch along, in stadium watch along.
Maybe.
If Bolton's Wi-Fi is up to it.
Well, we're going to do super Wi-Fi. That is coming. You'd like it now, Luke. You should see that we've got screens on both levels now. Like a Premier League.
I'm sure you're sponsored by View Cinema. That screens you've got in there.
Hey, you can. I've always said you can never have too many screens. I've always big believer in that. So
only they thought that over in Salford.
But Martin,
do you know how many screens we got? 0.
Yeah, you have got 0 screens. You could do a fixing the roof first, but anyway, Martin, Arsenal.
Oh yeah, he was super easy, super expected 5-0 against what's looking like going to be the worst team in Premier League history. Caused a few scary moments, but I don't know, there's something about Arsenal that always seems to give the opposition a little bit of hope at certain points. But
you won 5-0. What are you on about?
No, early on it was only 1-0 at half time. But yeah, it was a battering. They're really terrible, and I think Heckingbottom looks like he's facing the chop very soon, which is a shame. But I mean, I just don't think it's his fault. Really, I don't think he's got a lot to work with.
We talked about this, didn't we? At the start of the season. Like, I know they made a couple of last-minute signings in Hamer and Cameron Archer, but
maybe they're just Maybe they just twist first out of the ones that were all down there, and sacking the manager saves them. But they just look terrible, and I expected nothing less. I actually put 5-0 in my Super 6 bet, so but I didn't win $250,000, which was a shame. Anyway, tonight,
get yourself a better mic then.
I could, as we are recording, it is the 2023 Balon d'Or Awards, the most prestigious award in football on an individual basis. Liam, is it an 8th title for Lionel Messi?
It seems almost certain to be. The greatest player of all time, sweeping his 8th title on the back of single-handedly dragging Argentina to a World Cup. So, yeah, looks like he's going to win. Above Erling Haaland, is that what the rumours are, that Haaland secured second?
As everyone's listening to this, we're recording Monday night, so you're all going to know by the time this goes out. But yeah, we're predicting that it's going to be Messi first, Haaland second, and Mbappe third. I think that works out pretty fair. Luke, do you agree with Messi winning over Haaland getting 175 goals or whatever he got last season?
No.
You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, so I think Messi got his award through the World Cup and his individual award through that as well. I think the Balon d'Or's over a season. I think Haaland definitely had a better season than Messi. So I think I think we'll go into it. I think it's more of a popularity vote for the Balon d'Or. Now, I'm not saying Messi's not the greatest player ever. I completely agree with that.
Just because you're the greatest player ever, do you deserve to win it every season until you stop playing football?
Yeah, I don't think I think previous seasons when he's won it, he's deserved it. But I think this season, I think Haaland is very unlucky to not win it, and I think he deserves it just because considering they won the treble and the amount of goals he scored.
I think that's the big one. Is the fact that he had all that silverware as well, and just not an international trophy to go along with it. Liam, the Balon d'Or, the history of the Balon d'Or. Let's go back a few years. In fact, this is quiz time. Who won the first Balon d'Or?
Stanley Matthews.
Luke's done a little bit of research and probably predicted that question was coming up. Blackpool's own Stanley Matthews was the first one. I think 1956. I think it was. In case you missed that, but yeah,
is that after they won the FA Cup against Balon? That's 53.
The Blackpool. Anyway, yeah. So the Balon d'Or is famously, or was also used to be known as the European Player of the Year, was UEFA's main competition before it merged with FIFA. So when we was growing up, the FIFA World Player of the Year seemed like the most prestigious award, and probably a bit uneducated at that point. But the fact that someone is World Player of the Year as opposed to European Player of the Year held more prestige for me. But since they've merged, the Ballon d'Or's really, I think in maybe, was it 2009, I think it merged? The Ballon d'Or's really taken a step up in prestige. The voting for it is interesting though. It's famously a journalistic award, or voted for by journalists. Just run us through what you think about that.
I think it's better to say it includes journalists, because it will include a panel of a national team manager, national team captain, and a signed journalist from that country. If I may be right about the Ballon d'Or.
No, I don't think it is, Liam.
I think that's for the FIFA award.
That's FIFA award.
How I understood it. And the Ballon d'Or is a selection of journalists.
Yeah, it's 100 journalists from top countries, what they consider top countries.
It was 170 and it's gone down to 100 this year.
Yeah.
So, Luke, while Liam tips away and does a little bit of last second research, what do you think that's right, that the Ballon d'Or is held in such prestige but is not voted for by those within the game?
Yes, I think actually, only because I think people within the game have their bias, especially players that play on the same team as some players, like what's happened in the past. with
Yeah.
the Messi and Ronaldo stuff. So I think if it goes to journalists, then fair enough. Again, it's a popular contest, and yeah, to be honest, boys, I don't see the point of it. To be honest, I think it's a team sport for an individual reward. It's, in my eyes, it's just a nonsense. To be honest,
Luke, do you have any respect for the structure of a podcast conversation?
He doesn't. It's just went
Right.
on and then told us his final point was actually don't care.
Yeah. But I've done some research now, and yes, it is voted by journalists. So well done, you two. I did pick the topic as well, so maybe I should have.
My remark was do your research.
Yeah. Of course. But there we are. So yeah, in terms of journalist picking, I've got no real issue with that. I do like the Football Writers Award as well.
Yeah, again, that's what is held in most prestige in the Premier League.
Yeah, I do like that. And in terms of Lionel Messi, is he the best player in the world? Probably not right now, if we're being completely honest. However, when you consider the year he had in terms of that World Cup, I think it's very hard not to say that that was the greatest football achievement of the year, and therefore should be rewarded with the most prestigious prize.
Fair enough.
what do you think? What do you think, mine? Do you agree with that?
Not really. I don't. No, I feel like it is based on the whole season, and yes, the World Cup. It was an odd season with the fact that the World Cup was at Christmas, but it's a long old season that shouldn't be decided on a 4-week period where Messi has shone and he has crowned his amazing career with the greatest achievement in football. But to take that away from Haaland, who's come into the best league in the world as the new hot prospect in world football and absolutely smashed every record to bits, won every trophy you could win, other than at a national level, and for that to be taken away as sort of a sentimental award to Lionel Messi, I don't know, it doesn't sit right with me. And I do like the Balon d'Or. I like that there is a crown for someone at the end of each season, which is probably why they've shifted the timing as well. I think it used to be on a calendar year basis rather than seasonal.
That's the FIFA one now, isn't it? FIFA's calendar, Ballon d'Or's season.
Liam, do you think that individual awards are important?
I don't think they're as important, if I'm being completely honest. I much prefer team achievements. I think they are what ultimately matter, and to be probably to an extent unfairly, what you do get judged on at the end of your career. But I do think they matter. I think, for example, for Lionel Messi's career, up until about 3-4 years ago, something that was levelled at him quite strongly was the fact that he hadn't won anything with Argentina, and he's now won the Copa America and the World Cup. So it really finalises that legacy that he's got as the greatest ever, in my opinion. I think that still maybe would have been up for debate with Maradona had Messi not won the World Cup, which is mental, I know, but it really, really does matter. In the same way that Haaland being second here, no one can take away that European Cup that now Haaland has.
Yeah.
He doesn't. Mbappe's going to feel like he has to leave PSG to achieve that. So that's really ultimately what matters. I think certainly for European players and players that play in Europe, winning the Champions League is the be-all and end-all now, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think it's got so popular now, the Ballon d'Or, because of the Messi Ronaldo kind of rivalry, and it seemed to be always about that, and it was who's going to win the Ballon d'Or for them two, and that's why they kind of see it in really high regards now, and it's talked about loads. Was it that the catalyst for that?
No, I think for me the the merging with FIFA is what's helped it gain prestige. I'm not sure when that was. I'm sure it was around 2008-9 when they stopped doing the FIFA World Player of the Year and moved to it's now the FIFA Balon d'Or. So it's like a joint award where they include the whole world in it, even though it's dominated by Europe. Seeing, that is what has brought it into and made it more glamorous to win. Probably a bit of the rivalry, but it is great to shine a light on. We don't see a lot of me personally. I don't watch a lot of Italian football, and in our younger years, these awards were dominated by players in them leagues. And now I've watched a lot more Spanish football growing up. You get to see why Messi. It was Messi and Ronaldo. They were by far the best two players on the planet for over 10 years. So,
with that, then though, Neil, do you think Iniesta's missed out of winning a Ballon d'Or, considering he's won the World Cup and I think he won the Champions League the same year as well?
No, I don't.
Really,
I wouldn't say he's missed out on the Ballon d'Or.
You'd say at that point that Ronaldo and Messi were by far clear, wouldn't you? I don't.
Yeah.
Just were. It's not unfair. It's not to be shared. Like, it's for the best, isn't it?
I think he was second or third a few years, wasn't he?
So then, to that point, then Liam, you're saying Messi should win the Ballon d'Or this year because he's won the World Cup, but you've said though he's not the best player. He
was the best player at the World Cup, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean officially he was as well. If we're going off them awards,
I would say that competition is the standard competition. And I get your point about it's a full year; it should be 4 weeks, but it is the 4 weeks, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
So it is that 4 weeks that matters. So, yeah, absolutely, I believe that.
Luke, is Iniesta the best player you can think of who's not won a Ballon d'Or?
Oh.
And if the next words out of your mouth aren't Thierry Henry, then you're fired from the whole podcast.
Yeah.
I'm going to interrupt you here because I'm just going to save you for a second. Thierry Henry is the greatest player to never win this Ballon d'Or. He was robbed.
Was it Nedved who won it?
Nedved.
Yeah.
He's the most corrupt league in history of football. Italian did some, I can't even think of a word that would describe what they do. Tomfoolery. Some hoodwink.
Is there anyone else? Because, I mean, it's a strong two. Iniesta and Henry. Anyone else? I mean, Xavi as well.
Maldini. Del Piero. Raul.
Defenders don't count.
Steven Gerrard.
What? But why defenders not count?
Cannavaro won it. Cannavaro won it because Italy won the World Cup, though. So this is sort of brings it round to Liam's point.
It's just how it works. Like, yeah, just it is what it is. Yeah, defending is boring, isn't it? Like, it's not my fault. Like, they get paid a lot of money. They do all right, but no one's gonna go, "Oh, did you game yet?" Yeah, I would love to go on the game. Just can't wait to watch John Terry. No one does that, does it? So, like, it's not their fault. It's no one's fault.
You used to love watching David Luiz, though.
Yeah, but he wasn't a defender, were he? He was a madhead. It was just chaos. He was chaos in a football shirt. Who wouldn't want to watch him? So I can't remember the question.
I think it was for the best players who've missed out on this award.
Oh yeah, I think they're the best two.
Maldini and Thierry Henry are the standout ones for me. Thierry Henry in our invincible season. I think Puskás, Rijkaard never won it. Baresi came second. Those are the standout ones, I guess.
I was actually looking at the winners. How good was Kaká when he was on top?
Kaká in that season was stunning.
Yes, he was probably the best player in the world at that point, Luke.
Yeah,
you could argue. So let's just go back to Messi then for a second. If he does win it, where does this stand? Is this the curtain call for him on his career in terms of an award of this magnitude?
I don't think so. He seems to be enjoying life out in Miami, doesn't he?
Do you know where Miami are in the league?
No.
Bottom.
They're near the bottom.
Yeah, well, who cares? Like, doing some nice little clips, isn't he? For the old.
Obviously not FIFA. They'll put him straight back in the Balon d'Or nominees according to. This is it. And I think this is why he's probably going to end up winning it by the time people are listening to this.
Do you think another problem with this kind of award and the timing of it is why is it not done like at the beginning of the season?
Why
No,
would
right
you-
at the end. It should be
Or
right at the end.
or right at the end, or yeah, but you need to if there's tournament football, it
Do it
should be
before
that
then.
included.
Oh, yeah, I guess so, yeah.
So beginning of the season, so then you can assess it all, and then you can go right. Okay, he's clearly had the best season.
Is that when it does happen though? Because you're going to do the vote and then
You do the vote
all
on
of
an app. It takes one day.
I
do
think
that.
the votes come in. I think it's finished last a week ago, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah, it should be right at the end of the season. All these individual awards should be. And
'Cause then
the World Cup or the European Championships, whatever, they fall into that season. So yeah, at the beginning of the next season, it should be around then.
Because it stops all this talk of like, Messi's moved to Miami, so he's because it wouldn't have moved back to Miami by then if it was beginning of the season. It was it's the cut off there, so it's annoying that goes into the new season and they announce the winner. That's my kind of gripe with it.
Yeah, let's give our predictions for next season then. While we're here, Balon d'Or 2024. Liam, is there anyone who can take this away from Jude Bellingham?
Not to my reckoning, to be completely honest. I'd be very surprised if Bellingham doesn't win it next year.
He's going to be in with a shout, isn't he?
It's on the biggest stage. England have got more than a fighting chance in the Euros. I can't see a world where Bellingham doesn't win it. I suppose the competition's going to be Mbappe and Haaland, you would think. Maybe if City go on a run, there could be some Bernardo Silva shouts, I think. Could be one of those years for Bernardo Silva, but I'm struggling to really find a case for Bellingham not winning it. I don't know about you, Luke.
If England win the Euros and Bayern win Champions League, why not Kane?
Whoa!
That's not a bad shout.
The Hurricane.
He seems to be doing a madness at the moment. It's going from halfway line. So,
did you see that match at the weekend?
8-0, was it?
It was 0-0 at half time.
Well, Bundesliga's back to its best, isn't it?
Bayern Munich had Kimmich sent off after 3 minutes. And then, I don't even know who they were playing. Some absolute farmers.
But that's what he went there for, isn't it?
Yeah, and they had 2 men sent off before half time. So the second half was 10v9, and Bayern Munich scored 8 goals.
I tell you what, we'll be mad if Tottenham go all the way this season.
It's disgusting. Anyway, while we're speaking about Balon d'Ors.
Respect the agenda of the podcast. You can't just keep throwing out outlandish comments.
Speaking of the agenda, just reading through some of Liam's notes here. And do our research is top of this list. So well done. I think we'll leave the Balon d'Or chat there. Congratulations to Lionel Messi. Liam, do you want to pass on a message to Lionel? I know he's one of our early subscribers, actually.
Yeah, well done, Lionel.
In Spanish, please.
I don't know Spanish. Or Catalan. I think he'd speak Catalan. Would he speak Catalan?
He probably would.
I don't know that.
Let's leave it there.
Luka Modric 10th, everyone. Luka Modric 10th. So, yeah, well done, Lionel. 8. That's pretty good. So,
it's not a bad innings.
Hopefully, you can make it 9. Speaking of 9, Bernardo Silva finishing 9th.
Thanks for the running commentary, Liam. We're going to leave it there. Liam, if people have their opinion on the Balon d'Or, how can they get in touch with us on Twitter?
At Fixing Football on our exclusive Twitter with live updates of the pod at times, including some hot takes on Man United from Luke Foley tonight. And
Luke, where can the people go if they want to find our links anywhere else?
www.fixingfootballpodcast.com.
Honest to God, it's like you've done some research tonight. I'm so proud of you. Thank you everyone for listening. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and if you are watching on YouTube, you'll see the nice new little animations that go along with it when I say like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell, so you'll see that little thing move around now, and you'll be notified every time a new video turns on. So thanks very much, and we'll catch you all soon. See you soon, boys.
See you in a bit, lads.
Bye, everyone.